radical gender ideology that is contrary to his religious beliefs and ours. I'd like to have Shay come up and tell the story. It's an amazing story. Shay, please come up.
Y'all really need to check out all these schools. Like, people need to look deeper into what they're forcing these kids to learn, because although not everyone has the same beliefs and upbringings and lifestyle choices they all want to, everyone's different. But to teach every kid something that is kind of not accepted by everyone or acknowledged to be true as if it is true, and enforcing that upon them is kind of insane. And in the case where this fifth grader was forced or pressured to read this gender ideology book to a kindergartner, didn't feel good about it. Donald Trump brings him on the stage to tell his story, and it's interesting. So you guys check this out. Before you do, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to RTN News, because it ensures to YouTube you enjoy these videos, and in turn they'll continue to show up in your feed and they'll push it out to more people. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
Also with us is 12-year-old Shay Encinas from California. Last year in fifth grade, Shay was forced to read a book to a kindergarten student promoting a message of radical gender ideology that is contrary to his religious beliefs and ours. I'd like to have Shay come up and tell the story. It's an amazing story. Shay, please come up.
Making a fifth grader do anything like that is crazy. Like, no, they're still learning how to, I used to work with kids. I was a preschool teacher. And it's just, they're learning. It wasn't fifth grade age. Well, some of them actually, for the summer program I ran. It's like these kids are learning how to read. They're finding out books. They're learning what kind of sports they're good at, how their bodies are changing and growing. And like, the reality is reality, and let's teach them that. And then we can go into the whole psychological element of things that are just a little harder to explain and not accepted to be true by everyone. Like, you can't just enforce this ideology on everybody. That's insane. Regardless of whether or not you accept it personally. And like, I'm not saying you should be cruel or rude to anyone, but to force a fifth grader to read that to a kindergartner is crazy. Even if you are in favor of it, you should not be pressuring kids to accept things that one is new to us in terms of like in the grand scheme of like being a popular thing known in society, in the world, in our culture. It's relatively new, and not everyone believes it, accepts it. And because it's a little crazy, but like, to sit there like, what? That's weird to me. Anyways, let's hear what the kid has to say.
Thank you again, Mr. President. Hi, I'm Shay Encinas. I've been a Christian my whole life, and Jesus means everything to me. When I was in fifth grade, my school forced me to teach my kindergarten buddy about changing his gender using a book called My Shadow is Pink. The book said you can choose your gender based on feelings instead of how God made us. I knew this was not right, but I was afraid of getting in trouble. After my family spoke up, the school treated us badly, and kids started bullying me and my brother because of our faith. And the school did nothing to stop it. It hurt a lot, but I kept trusting God. I believe kids like me should be able to live our faith at school without being forced to go against what we believe. I hope no other family has to go through what mine did. Thank you.
Reality is reality, right? So I don't think you can change your gender. I think you have the right to attempt to. It's a free country. You have every right to. And I think when you're of adult age, it's your choice. I don't think that's necessarily the best choice for you, but I don't get to decide what you do with your life. I will say, though, it is, and he's 12, so I'm not going to come at him with this at all. But like, to say, like, they're forced to tell you, he was forced to read that you can change your gender based off your feelings, which I think is insane. But then also to then say, instead of the way God made you, which I also align with. I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and I believe God created all of us in his image, in his likeness, and he wants us to all accept salvation and to serve him and all that. But some people don't. So that should not be an argument used to try and convince something to be not real, like transgender ideology, bringing up, oh, God made you this way, well, I don't believe in God, just like you don't believe in transgender ideology. So you have to bring in like the science of it, like we're biologically different, X, Y, XX chromosomes and all that stuff. Because bringing up God is just not going to be a winning argument, even though I do believe that he is real. I know that he is real. But anyways, let's see what Trump has to say to the kid.
Thank you, Shay. Great job. That was delivered well, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was a very articulate 12-year-old. He didn't say much, actually. I was out here waiting for Trump to say something like crazy about how the radical left has got this boy, blah, 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 blah. But anyways, I want to show you guys another clip from this Texas A&M. There was a student in class who didn't feel comfortable about transgender ideology being taught by the professor, since Donald Trump signed an executive order saying there were only 2 genders, and technically she's going against it. And there was a little back and forth. And I will tell you this right now, you are going to feel uncomfortable because it is an uncomfortable situation. But you need people to stand up when they think something wrong is being done. So shout out to this student and let's check it out.
That's kind of a recap of our remarks on gender and sexuality. We read from last class. One thing we didn't get to in our last class.
I just have a question because I'm not entirely sure this is legal to be teaching. Because according to our president, there's only 2 genders, and he said that he would be freezing agencies' funding programs that promote gender ideology. And this also very much goes against not only myself, but a lot of people's religious beliefs. And so I am not going to participate in this because it's not legal, and I don't want to promote something that is against our president's laws as well as against my religious beliefs.
Here's fun. Our president's laws. I know he signed executive order, but it is weird. But yeah, exactly. He did enforce that as an executive order saying that we can't teach that. So the fact that they're teaching that in schools, Texas A&M, is interesting. This girl sounds like a younger than college student, but anyways.
You certainly have the right to engage in things that you find protected. And you suggested something else.
Yes.
You are under a misconception that what I'm saying is legal.
Well, can you explain to me how teaching us about gender identity and transgenderism and that there's more sexes than
gender isn't illegal.
Huh?
My gender isn't illegal.
Gender?
Not one of them in the class. Not a transgender in the class with them. That's so uncomfortable. That's so uncomfortable. But props to her for standing her ground. Gender isn't illegal. That is so true, young lady or young man. I don't know what they were. But yeah.
What do you mean? Your gender is not illegal. According to President Trump's executive order, if you want me to read the paragraph in the order itself.
If you are uncomfortable in this class, you do have the right to leave.
Yes.
What we are doing is not illegal. And if you would like to make the claim that it is, you need to talk to the department head or the head of undergraduate.
Well, I've already been in contact with the president of A&M, and I actually have a meeting with him in person to show all of my documentation tomorrow. But
we are also aware, and this is part of why there was an observer in class.
yes.
I'm not convinced that your proposal will be effective in stopping me from teaching things that are biologically true.
Not biologically true. You can make the argument that an individual, gender dysphoria it's a mental disorder, correct? You can make the argument that like you're going to affirm this person's, let me not say this, affirm this person's belief in what they are, and then like say they should have the right to think that and live that way, which they do. It's a free country. But to say biologically true, when biologically it's not true, is interesting.
Because I do have the legal and ethical authority, all of the professional expertise in this classroom.
Okay.
So I'm legally.
Yeah, no, I am.
I'm kicking her out. it's time for you to leave is crazy. Apparently, update, they said that the dean and the department heads were removed from their positions and the professor had been fired. So it looks like the girl ended up winning after talking to the president, or I don't know what happened. But yeah, this stuff shouldn't be taught in schools. Like, can we just learn about reading, writing, math, arithmetic, like whatever you're majoring in? Like, can we just get into whatever field? Like, what is the purpose I mean, here, actually. Well, actually, I don't know if it is wrong. It depends on what class this was exactly. What is this class on? Like, if they have gender studies class, although I think that is an unnecessary class to have, I don't think it's wrong to have class if you want to have it, to talk about the mind and why people think that they are what they are, whatever. Like, that's technically fine, I guess. But yeah, it's just interesting that people want so biological true was crazy to me. But I mean, college is one thing, but certainly not at the beginning with this kid, this 5th grader, 12-year-old. Why are they teaching kindergartners and 5th graders this stuff? Like, no, like they shouldn't even be teaching them about mommy and daddy and all that stuff. Like, that's mom and dad's job, and like what they do in the bedroom and how that works, family dynamics. And anyways, wild to me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. I want to know what you guys are thinking, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.